Today is January 15th, 2023. Posted a lot of things on Facebook. Okay. They wouldn't leave me alone. So I started posting testimonies. Michelle and Dana, ID and her dad and her retired Judge Pete and the agent that called me back out of his area. And I went and I walked in Meskers Park. Some guy pulled in. He's like, he's making fun of her. And how stupid she is telling people. And I told him I don't want anything to do with this. No, this is funny. Walks off. Well, yeah, it takes somebody with a very low IQ and no moral compass to find any of this funny. And they do realize it doesn't offend me, the thought that that agent that called me back is making fun of me for being his victim. You don't even hurt me, not even that much. It's his daughter screwing my ex-husband. And why would a little 19, 20-year-old kid want my ex-husband? Because, like the one guy I was talking to, it's a trio of feeding off each other. Her dad, the agent, is using her to manipulate Dave. She's using Dave for her dad. And then Dave's using her to hurt you. They're all feeding off each other. It's like, duh. But yeah, you know what I mean? Why would I? You do realize they're sexual predators. The only ones that break in your home and kick your door, literally kicked in my door on the 6th day. I'm not even moved in. I don't even have a refrigerator. And they kicked my door in the wall because he met the little prostitute. Okay, their dad's messed up in drugs. And they're sexual predators. And child molesters. Huh? Why would I care that somebody who is a sexual predator and a child molester make fun of me that's wrapped up in drugs? Do you think I care that that weirdo make fun of me? Do you realize the people in trials, they're found guilty? They're found guilty. Do you know they're still normally snickering at their victim when they haul them off to jail? They're laughing at the local sheriffs. They're laughing at the local police. I've heard that they make fun of them because they won't arrest them. I talked to one sheriff out of this area. He said, I bet they do make fun of your local police because they should have arrested that agent and they should have arrested that judge. They can't do any of these crimes, and I bet they do mock them. So they mock the cops, too. Because they don't do their job. That ought to scare the pants off of people. See, it don't matter if you're the president of the United States. Nixon couldn't buck an office. Got impeached. Almost went to jail for an office. And he was president. Give you a little bit of toenail curling? I mean, you think that we're Will and his drug addict friend Eric that already took and proclaimed that all the tapes before were him and not me? Ha 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 ha. It was my idea to do it, my idea to come up with it. It was on me and not her. For people to turn on her and they fell for it. Ah! High as a kite. Walmart 62 hair salon. Right in the door, there's a camera above him and one in the hair salon. Full confession. November 1822, 2 to 6 p.m. ID'd November 24th, 22. At Mercy Medical to the nurse that it was Eric making fun of everybody for falling for this. And the nurse knew that agent bullied me into saying I was lying when I wasn't. And these men need to realize how not funny this is. That no one's actually spoke anything bad about me. I was out at my client's on Turquoise Street in Canton. Now, the split level straight across from his apartment, the Canton police already told him, in June of 22, they already knew the tapes before with them and not me, and not to say a word to me anymore. But the house next to a great big house, they're part of this, okay? And they're always out there yelling stuff, okay? Well, where I wrote that thing on Facebook, that where I called the FBI on them, and I was in police protected custody. And it didn't matter if Michelle's dad was the one running it, which makes it illegal because it's a conflict of interest. Because she was dating she was dating my husband, and her dad couldn't touch that case out of the area. And that I lived in Portage County, and there's no way on earth that a Stark County Courthouse FBI task force guy should have ever looked at it. It wasn't in his jurisdiction. And with there being a conflict of interest, it's 1 to 10 years. Embezzlement is 5 to 30. See, they're looking at life in federal, and they're laughing at the law because they haven't stopped them. Yeah. And so where I'm writing it out, you do realize, and I'm going how they're trying to get Melissa arrested for this. My ex-daughter-in-law that was friends, that had just left my son for good and became friends with Michelle and had the kids make up a big mean giggle on Thanksgiving of 18 that they got caught stating they wanted the house for Auntie Shaw and Papa. Grandma needed to get out. And then later on to Florida, they were making everything up. Okay? I read all that stuff out. And they are documenting me games of pretend like the Massillon police. And like the 2 sheriffs said, if Kurt just found out those kids were lying, he is slow. And that was years ago. They got confronted that they were lying in 18. So I go out to get something out of my vehicle. Outside my clients, those kids are in that big house. They're outside, said, none of this is funny. They're the ones that got tape stating they were lying. They did. And she's ran around pretending she's Melissa. Melissa got corrected by the police in 18. Okay? Corrected by the police in 18. John had said that she moved out of this area when she left him, and that's before we moved up there. Okay? And her kids don't even go to the town that I live in their school, or live in their area. Michelle is so mentally ill. She was driving by with voice recorders, acting like she was them, like, are you gonna give us money? And she's trying to frame her, so she goes to jail for trying to embezzle funds. Government funds. Then they try to frame Danny and Jen for the shower scene in the other room, and they knew nothing. It's Michelle's mental illness. Her and her dad are child molesters. Do you realize how illegal it is to show pornography to children? They can't even be allowed in R-rated movies until you're 12 or older? And they have showed a real rape and a real torture to as low as 5-year-olds that have said stuff to me. They don't understand sex. They don't understand that kind of violence, and to hurt their little minds, hearts, and souls, and they think it's funny showing it to little girls and boys. Okay? That is a form of child molesting. They are sexual predators. They will watch you on the toilet. Even in police protective custody, they can't watch you on the toilet. They can't watch you in the shower. They can't. You still have a right to privacy and dignity. So, yeah, where she kicked in my door and they were watching me in the shower, watching me on the toilet before that, I'm waking up with giant bruises. I'm throwing up. I'm so dizzy I can't even mow the lawn. They're already date rape drugging me. I Googled what date rape drug is injectable. Ketamine, Rufinol, and Propanol. You're sleepwalking for 4 to 6 hours chemically. I've never been questioned or wrongdoing. I've never been prosecuted. I've never been found guilty. There's no Miranda rights. There's no prosecution. There's nothing. Matter of fact, the agent that called me back after he bullied me into a false statement under a threat of arrest when I tried to report what happened at Huntington Bank about the guy threatened to knife me. Badgering Laws, Department of Justice, 1729, screaming at me like a banshee until I said, because he was going to put me in jail if I didn't say I was lying. He can't do that. He just obstructs justice and tampering with evidence. He just bought himself 5 to 7 years. Then made me plead for my life and then opened a protected light case. That's where it's rich. He opened that case. And then put the money in there and the diplomatic immunity and And then he took the money for himself. They said all those drug dealers that showed up down here and helped out, he owed them all money and they came down here and helped because they want to make sure they got paid. And then where they stole all that money from the witness protection program that was meant for my help, for taking care of me, because you get $60,000 a year and housing and all this other stuff. You know what? He put it all in his dirty pocket, and they're laughing at me that they stole. And these people are laughing that he defrauded the federal government and the witness protection program. That some rogue agent with drug dealing problems, pornography, and child molesting, that it's him Because he likes to show little girls of a woman being raped by men as low as 5 and hurt their little minds. That's a form of child molesting. He's a child molester. He's a sexual predator. It is a sexual predating thing to watch somebody in the toilet and in the shower and when they don't know you're there. And then to Photoshop it in the other room of showering is asinine. And to watch and show videos of that to other people is another form of sexual predating. He's a very bad sexual predator. Somebody actually gets a hold of this, he will never get out of federal prison. Neither will his daughter or these people. These people ought to learn to be scared, like those teenagers said. We told that girl, how dare you pull this in our town? Yeah, it's just them stealing from the case. They've said it clear to Pennsylvania. They have said it to, oh my gosh, everywhere. Canton, Louisville, Massillon. It's just them stealing from the case. The whole thing is them stealing from the case. It's a big fraud scam. They have stole the Witness Protection Program money. And then the login to Police Protective Custody, they sold it. Like a reality show. Huh? How many other people in Witness Protection Program did he sell the login so that the people that are going to kill him can go hurt him? He's a predator. He was in debt to all those drug dealers that came down here and drugged the hell out of me. And then when they made enough money on the Protect a Light case, selling it like a reality show, and then stealing my Witness Protection Program money, and putting it in his dirty pocket, and then paying those drug dealers off so that he could pay for another drug shipment. That makes me stupid being his victim, right? That they raped, they drugged, they publicly humiliated, and sex trafficked under drugs. Yeah, it's real funny being his victim, isn't it? He's a sexual predator and he's a child molester. Normal people wouldn't let children see violent crimes like that. It's actually very illegal. Yeah. And people, he would never, his family and everybody here will never have government jobs, bank jobs, won't even be allowed around schools. That's where the teenagers in town, we told that girl, how dare they pull this in our town? It's just them stealing from the federal government. And he's laughing at me for being his victim. Do you think it hurts my feelings he's laughing at me? Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. I'm just his victim. Most people that are that insane and that disgustingly reprobates, they sit in the courtroom and laugh at the victims that sit on the trial, or sit on the jury stand and give the judge their testimony as they weep and cry. They sit and snicker because I think it's funny they hurt them. They sit and snicker because they think hurting people is funny. Just like that Eric admitting that all those tapes before were him and not me, laughing. It's mental illness. It's mental illness. Guys starting to get scared out there. Driving by, you can hear them scream when they realize that they're just helping child molesters, sexual predators that are wrapped up in drugs. They need to start getting scared. Very scared. I put it all over Facebook. And I'm Michelle, the agent that picked up my case, and retired Judge B. I put testimonies out there. You want to bother me? You want to harass me? I'll put the testimony. You want to call me stupid for telling? You know why they don't want me to tell? Because you have to tell. You know why they want you to stay quiet? So they can get away with it. Because every month I'm alive, they get my $5,000 to $10,000. So you get $60,000 a year in the Witness Protection Program, and then you're supposed to get your housing, your living expenses, I got nothing but police surveillance at home. And he can't tell anybody, and they can't help me. Failure to protect is abuse and misconduct. It's illegal to. It's illegal to badger somebody. The only thing in that statement, and even somebody who worked at the prosecutor's office, where he bullied me so bad on the phone and made me plead for my life, is the only thing legal on that phone he did is list me on foreman. And open the Protect a Light case, which comes with diplomatic immunity. You know, he even told me to admit to no wrongdoing. He never asked me of wrongdoing. Nothing. Nothing to that one. Admit to no wrongdoing, Karen. I'll take care of everything in the end. I'll pull you out if it gets too bad. Got $5,000 a month. Da 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 da. For my testimony in this case, and that's what it is for. Your testimony in a case that the government's looking into. And they put you in the witness protection program, and they're supposed to get you the hell out of there. And he left me up there to die and stole every bit of money, and then let those drug dealers hurt me and sell videos of it, so that he can raise enough money to pay off his drug debt. It's real fucking funny that him and his family are that messed up in drugs. And they're sexual predators. Otherwise, they would not have had me raped. They wouldn't have had me drugged. They wouldn't have photoshopped scenes. They wouldn't have touched me one bit. And then to show it to children makes them child molesters. And it's a form of them doing it. Like I said, they've been trying to get Melissa arrested for this, and she already got corrected in 18. And then they try to get Danny and Jen arrested, and they knew nothing. They are trying to get everybody in jail for this. You know why? Because Dave's worth $600,000, Dad. And if everybody's in jail or dead, when they kill Dave, how much you want to bet he signed a new will that he doesn't know about? Because they probably roofied him. And he was chemically sleepwalking for 4 to 6 hours with one of those injectables. Things where they walked up and would stab me and the room would go black. You're out for 4 to 6 hours sleepwalking, chemically. And then they could steal the house, the $375 in life, his retirement fund, and make $600,000 and score it by just getting everybody else locked up. They're quite evil. And if you guys would stop acting like asinines and realize that drug dealers aren't funny, pulling this biggest scam in your area, and start turning them into the police, it don't matter if there's an agent involved with drug dealers. God of heaven, you guys ought to have been yelling police abuse from the top of the hills. You realize agents are only higher officers. They've used your low IQs to find any of this funny. That's where even the teenagers are getting mad. How dare they even pull this here? And we all know it's just Dave's crazy girlfriend, that Michelle, the agent's daughter. Retired Judge Pete. Is he great uncle or granddad? And the Alex, the white-haired guy with his hair parted on the side, the guy that admitted he left his coma on Dave's dresser on 12/21/18, looks just like Judge Pete, brother. And Bill from the Freemason, looks the same. Was that another brother or cousin? Because it's our family watching or doing this.